Every time I see the number 45, I see the number 2025. And it works out like that in the Bible as well. 20 plus 25 is 45. This is an amazing number as far as prophetically. Enoch was raptured out of here at the age of 365, which is a Gentile year, the calendar that we're on right now. But 3 plus 6 is 9, and you have 5. 9 times 5 equals 45, which is 2025. And Enoch is a picture of the church. In chapter 5, 5 is a number for grace. That is just one. And you might say, well, that's kind of a stretch, right? The amazing thing about this, that if you go to Romans, as I've shown before, chapter 5, verse 9. You see the 5 and 9 right there again? It says that we are not appointed to God's wrath in that specific verse. Which if you multiply it 5 times 9, you have 45 again, which is 2025. But the amazing thing about Paul's writings is this. This is amazing. I've shown it before, but it's amazing. That both in Romans 5:9 and also 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 9. Like, what are the odds? What are the odds that both Romans and 1 Thessalonians in the same exact chapter 5, same exact verse 9, says that we are not appointed to God's wrath? And they're both a 45, which is 20 plus 25. I've been pointing to 2025 for like 2 years. If you've been following me, you've seen numerous videos pointing to 2025 for the rapture, for the beginning of the last 3.5 years of darkness. Not 3 days of darkness anymore. It's 3 years of darkness. God turns days into years. Just like when the Israelites were in the wilderness, they had to walk for 40 days, then it turned into 40 years. That's what God does. Now, another amazing 45, this is an amazing thing, is the word Daniel, you know, like the book of Daniel, the prophet Daniel, equals 45 in simple gematria. And I've shown you how when he talked about Mina Tekel Upharsin, which was the prophecy of old Babylon being destroyed, that is connected, that is in, check it out, chapter 5, verse 25. If you throw a 0 in there and scramble it, it's 2025. Talking about the fall of Babylon in the Old Testament. Now it's connected to Mystery Babylon in the New Testament. It's a dual prophecy. And the way God did this and reveals it is through these numbers. And again, Daniel is 45, which is 2025. That's when this prophecy is pertaining to now. And it's in a mystery. We're in Mystery Babylon. The church, the body of Christ, was a mystery that was revealed to Paul. The full revealing of it. Jews and Gentiles in one body. This was a secret that God kept. That we would both be reconciled into one body. The Jews and the Gentiles equal. Because before it was Israel as the head and then Gentiles as the tail. Now it's combined. We are equal. So these are amazing connections with the number 45, which is 20 plus 25. Everything, I've shown so many patterns for 2025. I can't go over all of it because I'm doing numerous videos. But we can get into a few other things real quick. Genesis chapter, watch this. This is an amazing revelation that I had a long time ago. If you've been following me, you might have seen it. So Genesis chapter what? Chapter 45, which is what? 2025. 20 plus 25, right? And what happens in Genesis 45? There were 2 years into the 7-year famine, like the last 7 years here. And which would be, now they're on the 3rd year, just like 2025 is the 3rd year of the last 7 years we're in right now. It's the 3rd year in, just like they were the 3rd year in. Because they were 2 years in, which means they were on the 3rd year. which to us today would be 2025. And in Genesis chapter 45, which is 2025, there was a great deliverance. There was a great deliverance. Get it? Deliverance. And what happened? They went up to the Father's house and they supped with the Father. Just like when Jesus said, the next time that I sup with you will be in my Father's house. Look at Genesis 45. It's a physical picture of what's going to happen in the spiritual now in 2025. And God put it in Genesis chapter 45 so we could see that, which is 2025. And he picked a weirdo like me to reveal it to you. Okay? So check it out for yourself. And what is more amazing is that in Genesis, the last years up until 2030 are the same, are the chapters. They're coinciding with the chapters. Genesis 45 is the great deliverance. Then you have 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. Why is there 50 chapters in Genesis? Because God declares the end from the beginning, and 50 is the amount of jubilees. It's the last jubilee. What is 50? 50 is 2030. 20 plus 30. And look at this. What is Genesis 49? That's 2029, the return of Jesus Christ. 20 plus 29. And look at what happens in Genesis 49. They return back and they get all the land given to them. It's just, what I'm showing you is that God put these numbers and this formula here in a mystery that I figured out, that was revealed to me, that 45, Genesis 46, 47, 48, 49, 50 coincide with the last years that were in here. And the formula to see that is you just add our year. 20 plus 29 is Genesis 49, and what happens there? Come back and they get all their land back. That's when Jesus Christ returns, 2029. Genesis chapter 49. Genesis 50. 50 is a jubilee, and that's 20 plus 30, 2030. It's all over with. So that's why God says in Isaiah 46:10 that he declares the end, which is now, from what? The beginning. Oh, wait, excuse me. What does Genesis mean? The beginning. It's all cryptic in the book of Genesis. But to me, this is the big things that I found in the book of Genesis, because it's prophetic. It's telling you the end from the beginning, but it wasn't time for people to receive it until now, until it's revealed in these last days. And like God said, he's going to reveal these things, and even more so, Amos 3:7, he's going to reveal them to his servants, the prophets. I'm not saying I'm all this and that, but nobody knows this, okay? Except if they see my video like months and months and months ago about these things. Okay? God showed me, he revealed to me these formulas. Okay? These formulas. Now in like I said, Daniel, I'll go back to Daniel for a second. Daniel equals 45 in simple gematria, which is 20 plus 25. So all that is dual prophecy. And what he said in chapter 5, verse 25, which is another 2025, right? Throw 0 in there and scrabble it. He said, Mina, Tekel, Upharsin. Let me see. Upharsin. And this was a prophecy to old Babylon. But it's also, so it, in short, that's what it was. Okay, now that's pertaining to us, and it's going to begin in 2025. The fall of Mystery Babylon now. But watch this. So like I showed before, these add up in shekels. These terms, Mina, Tekel, Upharsin, they're an amount of shekels also. And the amount of shekels is 126. It equals 126. And you know, the amazing thing about this is, throw a 0 on there. 1,260 days is 42 months. And so this prophecy that I'm showing you that is referring to 2025, the beginning of the last 42 months, adds up to 126, and he throws 0 on there, and you have 42 months. I'm telling you guys. And then check this out. Look, if you go to the book of Revelation, Revelation chapter 12, verse 6. This is right after the rapture of the man-child, the body of Christ. Revelation 12, 6. It says that the woman runs into the wilderness for 42 months. That's what it says. 1,260 days. On chapter 12, verse 6. Again, throw a 0 on there. You have 1,260 days, which is 42 months. On the exact verse that God says that the woman runs into the wilderness for 42 months. All these numbers are in the Bible, cryptically designed and being revealed to certain people to show you guys. To show you guys that we are in the end times, and more so exactly where we are in the end times. I can get into days, of the year and stuff like this that I think things are going to happen on. To me, there's a lot of possibilities there, but my thing is, I know the exact years. To me, years is enough. Okay, I know what's going to happen in the years. As far as days, there's some speculation that can go there, because when I get down to days and stuff, you look at feast days, you look at the day that the flood started, and there's arguments for a lot of those days, new moons and stuff like this. But there ain't no argument to me about the years because of these revelations that I've had. I know exactly where we are, and you know exactly where we are now too. So number 45 is very prophetic because it's pointing to 2025. And the book of Genesis is the cryptic code to the end. And that's exactly what God said he does. He declares the end from the beginning. And he reveals these mysteries to his servants, the prophets. Amos 3:7. What is that? Look at this. Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Well, I've talked about the number 37 because I've talked about the number 73. Remember? The word wisdom, chokmah, equals 73. But the very first verse of the Bible is all connected with what? 37, 73. This is all at the book of the very first verse of the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So, Amos chapter 3, verse 7. What's Genesis 3:7 say? And their eyes were opened, and they knew that they were naked, right? There's a connection there with the eyes being opened, right? It's all connected, and it's all like circular. It's all circular, and it's like wheels within a wheel, okay? Once God reveals something to me, then later on I get something else, and later on I get something else, and then it all coincides and connects. That's why when you get into like dispensationalism and stuff like that, there's some truth there. But when you get into, if you want to really have God show you things, you have to break out of that mindset, right? That mindset where like this little part of the Bible, I'm going to especially focus on. Forget all that. The whole Bible is one in one way or another, in more ways than we can imagine. And if you want to get into prophecy and know secrets, look at this. Look, see, oh my gosh. Look, Proverbs. I've shown this before too. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 2. Again, you have 2025 there if you scramble the numbers and put a 0, right? And even if you put a 0 right here, 2520 is exactly 7 years that are 360-day years, which was the Hebrew calendar. But we'll just, leave that for there. And it's also connected to Daniel. Daniel's 5:25, very close, right? But what does it say? Proverbs 25:2, which is 2025 almost, and it says that it is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but it's the honor of kings to search out a matter. So God is telling you through Proverbs chapter 25, verse 2, which also Amos 3:7, all these numbers mean something. And it is cryptic. But you look for yourself what I've shown you, And it's all there, man. How is it that Paul, both times that he mentions we're not appointed to wrath, is in chapter 5, verse 9 of two separate books? The exact same chapter, the exact same verse. And when you multiply it, it's 45, which is 2025. How is this possible? It's not by chance, you guys. It's not by chance. Now watch this. What's the number 45 in the Strong's Concordance? The number 45 in the Strong's Concordance is my father, if I remember correctly, is strength. That's interesting, right? But do you know what else it means? Because there's two. There's in the Hebrew and in the Greek. It also means to anchor something. So it cannot be moved. Anchor. That's also interesting to me. My father is strength and an anchor. Like I said, the Strong's Concordance is prophetically deeply connected to all these verses, the years that we're in, the events that are taking place. And that's how God did it, man. And of course, 20 times 25 is the number 500. And the number 500 in the Strong's Concordance is Antichristos, the Antichrist. Every 500 years, the phoenix rises from the ashes. I'm telling you, man, 2025 is the beginning of the end. You got 42 months to 2029. All you got to do is be fruitful and multiply.